Okay, now we are going to see about actual and formal parameters. So first we can discuss an example. So here you can see that obj dot check prime of m, obj dot check prime of n. We can say m and n are the actual parameters, and the formal parameter is a. Int a, which is on the method header check prime int a. Int a is the formal parameter. Okay, so we have actual and formal parameters. The parameters which are appearing on the function calling part. Here the function is calling at m and n. Here we are calling the function at function in the main method. The parameters we are passing in the calling part are m and n. So we can say m and n are the actual parameters. The parameter appearing on the function header, that is the formal parameter. Here you can see the details of actual and formal parameters. The values which are passed to the method during its call from the main method are called the actual parameters. Or shortly we can say the parameters which appear in the function calling part or function invoking part or the method invoking part are called the actual parameters. The values which are on the method header are called the formal parameters. So the parameters which are on the method header are called the formal parameters. So the actual parameters are copied or referred to the corresponding formal parameters at the time of method calling. So passing of the actual parameters to the formal parameters can be done in two ways. One way is pass by value, it is also known as call by value, and pass by reference or call by reference. So passing of the actual parameters to the formal parameters can be done in two ways. One is pass by value and another one pass by reference. Call by value method, values from actual parameters getting copied to the formal parameters. A copy of the actual parameter sent to the formal parameter. Therefore, any changes we made in the formal parameter is not reflected on the actual parameter, because a copy of the actual parameter is passed to the formal parameter. So whatever changes we made on the formal parameter, it is not going to affect the actual parameters. Okay. So in the case of pass by value, we normally use the primitive data type as parameters. Okay, here you can see a sample program for call by value or pass by value. So here we are, let's see the initial values of a and b. Initial values of a and b are 10 and 5. A is equal to 10 and b is equal to 5. And we are calling a method obj dot, obj is the name of the object, check is the method name, check a comma b. So inside the check, what happens? Here a and b are the actual parameters. When we call the method check a comma b, it calls the method named check, and we know that for the check method we have two variables c and d. What happens? The values from the actual parameters a and b, c becomes c equal to a, d equal to b. Then we modifying the value of c and d. Okay, you can see that when you print the value of c, it becomes 20 and d is equal to 10, right? So after the method call, we are again checking the value of a and b. Then also you can see that the value of a and b remains the same. The concept is that in pass by value or call by value method, a copy of the actual parameter is sent to the formal parameter. A copy of the actual parameter is sent to the formal parameter. So whatever changes you made on the formal parameter, it is not going to affect the actual parameters. Okay. In the case of pass by reference or call by reference, an object or a reference to the memory is passed as the parameter. Please note that in call by value or pass by value, we were using primitive data types. So when it comes to pass by reference or call by reference, an object, when we say an object, a reference to the memory is passing as a value. So in pass by reference or call by reference, we use an object. So a reference to the memory is used inside the pass by reference method. So we can say in pass by reference, actual and formal parameters refers to the same memory location. In pass by reference, actual and formal parameters refers to the same memory location. When you compare this with pass by value or call by value, you can see that in pass by value or call by value, a copy of the actual parameter. But when it comes in pass by reference, a memory reference or a memory location reference is sent to the formal parameter. So we can say both formal and actual parameters refers to the same memory location. Because of that, the changes made in the formal parameters get reflected back to the actual parameters. Right? So here we use the non-primitive data type as parameters, like object we use, class we use as parameters. Okay, so let's see an example in the next page. Okay, in this program you can see that the name of the class is sctest. We have two variables, int a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 5. So you can see that I intentionally created these two variables a and b outside the main method but within the class, right? So a and b are, we can say, this is class variables, right? Class variable means it can be accessed anywhere in the class using the object, right? So in order to access, first we are printing the what is the initial values of a and b. You can see that it will print a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 5. Then we are calling the method obj.check and we are passing the parameter we are passing. You please note that we are passing that object as the parameter. So in the case of a pass by reference, I told you we always use a non-primitive data type. Object is a non-primitive data type, right? So whenever we call the method check, that you can see that inside the check, using that object we are accessing the variable a, then we are multiplying a with 2 and again we are accessing the variable b using the object. Here you can see that when we print the value of a and b inside the method, you can see that a becomes 20 and b becomes 10. Then the next line is that we are going to reprint the value of a and b after the method called check. So you can see that the value has initial value was 10 and 5. A was 10, b was 5. Now you can see that even after the method call, now we are out of the method, and you can see that the value has changed to a is equal to 20 and b is equal to 10, right? So hence we can say the changes we made in the formal parameters get reflected back to the actual parameter. Okay, the changes we made. So please see that in the case of a pass by reference, we use non-primitive data type as the parameter, right? So here we are using an object as the parameter. Okay, I think in your 10th class you might have learned the example of swapping the values, right? So if you want, you can use the same example, right? So the next concept is method overloading. So it is a familiar concept. In method overloading, we can create functions with the same method name, but they differ in the data type and parameters. So here in the example you can see that all these methods having the name volume, but they differ in the return type and the number of formal parameters, right? So this concept is called the method overloading. Okay, I know in 10th class you have learned a lot about this method overloading, and you have done some programs based on method overloading. So this concept is a more familiar to you, right? Another familiar concept we are going to discuss here is constructors in Java. So constructors in Java, when we say, it is a special method or a function. So what is the specialty of this function? This function or method having the same name as that of the class. This particular function having no return type, we don't use the void also, right? It is used to initialize the values, and it is automatically invoked on object creation. And there are two types of constructors: parameterized constructor and a non-parameterized constructor. The non-parameterized constructor, it is also known as the default constructor. Okay, so please read the details given on this page. So special member function whose name is same as the class, no return type, used to initialize the values, two types, parameterized and non-parameterized. Okay, here you can see the example for the constructors. The name of the class is there. You can see that we created a non-parameterized constructor and a parameterized constructor, right? And inside the main method you can see that I am creating two objects, obj1 and obj2. As you can see, when we create the obj1, it invokes the non-parameterized constructor. When we create the object obj2, it invokes the parameterized constructor. Invoke means as soon as we create the object, the output will be generated. So you can see the output generated on object creation. Hello from the default constructor a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 0. Then you can see that when we called that, or when we created the object obj2, in the output we are getting hello from parameterized constructor, a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20. Okay.